Ma'am, calm down. What kind of shot?
Okay guys, as you can tell by the channel, huge change of fucking plans on IS. Basically, Hull tech's not gonna work. Ooh. Basically, Hull tech's not gonna work. Just put it out of the car. Here's the Figs Engineering patch harness that I have to fix and remove the Hull tech fuckery from it. Basically, piggyback's not gonna work. Personally, I've always hated the idea of a piggyback ECU. Can't fucking stand it. However, a few people were adamant of me using this setup. Deep down inside, I was completely against it the whole time. Spoke to Jack Cecil from HP Tuners in West Palm Beach, and he pretty much assured me that this setup is junk. It's not gonna work. So, with that said, went on the internet, did some Googling, found the Link ECU. Right, plug and play for an IS300, 2001 to be exact, from excessive something, performance, manufacturing, whatever it is. I'll have to put the link in the description. They're not sponsored, so I don't give a fuck if I butcher their name or not. However, this is a plug and play Link ECU for an IS300, direct replacement for the stock ECU, full standalone, comes with a base map, guaranteed to make the car start and run in a factory IS300. I'm not gonna hold that up to this thing just yet, but I do feel confident. However, just sold this Hull tech. Gonna take it on down to UPS, get it boxed up and shipped out of here. And then basically the money used, the money received for the Hull tech is gonna go to Vic to help with the cost of the Link ECU from excessive. So anyways, gonna go to UPS, drop this thing off, come back, start fixing all of this fuckery, which is basically just connecting the wires again. And then also on top of that, what came in the mail yesterday through Amazon, let me find an open one. Here we go. Braided sleeving for the harness, all different sizes. So shit's about to get real. I'm definitely gonna pull this harness out today, the engine harness that is, wrap it all up, make it nice and pretty, and then basically wait for the Link ECU to come in the mail. So that'll be the next clip, which should be probably next week because it is on back order. So we'll see. Okay, everybody, the Figs Engineering patch harness is corrected back to how it's supposed to be, all factory. So in case you haven't seen any of my previous videos and you're wondering how I got the ECU to the glove box and not the engine bay, because I bought, or actually Vic bought this patch harness, which is about 3 feet long, from Figs Engineering. Shout out to them because they make fucking awesome products. So basically I did what I had to do with the engine harness, as you see a couple of videos back, and then that puts it right there through the firewall where the steering column is. Now I could have just continued and extended everything myself, but it wasn't worth my time or my effort. So luckily Figs sells this beauty here, and all this is, it's just a wiring harness extension. You can see all the male plugs there and all the female plugs here. Like this is supposedly the ECU end, the socket, right? And then that's the other end. So that way you just take your factory ECU, plug it in. Now be mindful that the only thing that this Figs harness does not include is the immobilizer plug. So if you have a car, if you're doing a, I think it's really the VVTi engines that they started doing the immobilizer, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but it's gonna have this gray plug on the ECU, and that right there is the immobilizer. And if we go back even more videos, you'll see that I extended that myself. And here it is. But no big deal, because this Link ECU is obviously a full standalone. It's not going to need the immobilizer. The immobilizer is going to be completely out of the equation of this car. So I'll just wrap that up, tuck it in somewhere, and then basically I'll just start making room for the new ECU in here. I gotta get rid of this too, because this was the power and ground relay and fuse here for that Haltech. Don't need it anymore. That's gonna go. I might leave it there in case he decides to add any extra accessory to the car, but for the most part that's not going to be needed with the new Link ECU, because it's going to be plug and play to the 01 IS300 factory harness, and everything's going to function like it should, including the gauges. So now that this is corrected, this is going to go into my parts bin over there, and basically engine harness is going to come out. Okay, that's going to require me to take off the plenum, maybe. I don't know yet. I got to pull it to the firewall, disconnect everything, pull the harness out, lay it on this table, and if you guys saw, got the braided wire loom. 5 different sizes there, all 10-foot lengths. So we're gonna get started on that. Wire in the coil pack plugs, wire in the new VVTi plug, and fucking go from there. So instead of boring you guys to death with the removal, wrapping, and installation of this harness, I'm gonna make it real quick. So now you see it, and now you don't. Got it all laid out. I'm gonna eliminate this batch of O2 signal wires that we're not using. I'm gonna eliminate this airflow meter plug, but only keep the 2 that are necessary for the GM intake air temperature sensor. So I'm gonna cut this all the way up there and basically just start wrapping everything up. So again, I'm not gonna show you guys this crap because it's boring as fuck. So there's before, and I'm gonna show you guys the after. All right, quick update. It's fucking nighttime. Mosquitoes are killing me. It's 9:30, not too bad, but harness is coming out really nice, really fucking nice. I'm really impressing myself on this one. But here we go. Here's the ECU side, and then this braiding sleeve right here is just incredible. I absolutely love this stuff. I'm just so in love with the way this is coming out. So this stuff is really cool. This is the last bit I have of 1/4 inch, but basically this stuff is braided nylon, and it's split down the center like so you could just slide it right over your existing wiring harness without depinning anything, which is very convenient for me. And then basically you cut it to the length you want. You take a lighter, you melt the end of it so it doesn't fray out, and then pretty much at each junction you get, you just do a single wrap of electrical tape. You also do it at the ends, and that'll keep everything put. So right now the harness is about 80% done. I just have this bit here that goes under the intake manifold for on the front, grounds, #1 knock sensor, oil pressure, oil level, AC compressor, coolant temp, and then I have the coil pack harness to do, which I can do that inside the car in the engine bay, and then the harness for the igniter. Again, that can be done in the engine with the harness in the car, so I'm not too stressed about that. I made a lot of progress today, and so I mean, just kind of taking it easy. Got music playing. It's nighttime. I just drank a fucking Surge. If you guys remember that shit. You know, I got my water I'm sipping, but it's very humid. Mosquitoes are out and I'm fucking dying. But I'm gonna keep going and basically just have this thing ready for when the Link ECU comes in. I'm pretty stoked, can't wait. And oh, by the way, before I start wrapping this up, I did some more housekeeping to the harness. Basically, everything involving factory O2 sensors was trimmed back all the way to the ECU plug. Airflow meter plug, that was trimmed back all the way to the ECU plug, with the exception of the 2 wires that I need. I ran those with the igniter plug, which they're right here, because I'm gonna have a connector, a 2-pin connector that I already bought. I'm gonna have it so that it's removable right there from behind the fender, just like the igniter is, in the event that this harness has to have to come out today again. The transmission plugs, I have them wrapped up. I'm gonna run those down to the tranny because I still have to find out reverse switch and speedometer. So I'm gonna leave that just chilling down there in the transmission tunnel, secured up with a zip tie. And then what the fuck else was I gonna do? That's pretty much it. I mean, I'm super stoked with how this is coming out. I've always wanted a nice looking wiring harness. Back when I had my Supra, I wanted to do something similar like this. Obviously never had a chance. So I mean, this is my time, and I gotta thank Vic for letting me do this for him, because definitely huge learning experience, and this is gonna teach me enough to be able to do this to my own car in the near future whenever I get one. But with that said, I'm kind of rambling on. Basically just gonna keep on fucking trucking, and then have this thing ready to be put back into the car first thing tomorrow morning. And then basically I could just button up all the finishing touches and put that intake manifold back on permanently. So see you guys in the next clip. Next day, just got the connector here for the GM intake air temperature sensor going forward here through the fender harness. I put a quick connect here because it runs with the sub harness I have here for the igniter, which loops around like that. So in the event of anything, unplug the igniter, unplug the GM intake air temperature sensor, and that's it. The entire engine harness is easily removed from behind the fender, and then you just do the usual stuff from the engine and behind the firewall. So pretty much with that said, everything's done. This is done, and what a fucking relief, because I remember a year ago when this was just a huge fucking rat's nest right in the middle of all this crap. So fender's ready to go on permanently. So I got it over there. I got to give it a quick wash because it's been sitting behind the shed. It's full of sand and rotten mango juice, because we got a mango tree up here that always dropping fruit. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean that up and bolt it down. Not gonna go crazy with it because obviously they're gonna come off once the car goes to the body shop. But you know, a few weeks ago I did end up putting the passenger side on, so it's starting to look more like a car. And this paint's junk. As you can see, the car used to be factory yellow. Unfortunately, it was repainted by the previous owner, which sucks because I wish it was still factory yellow, but it is what it is. It was painted over very shittily, and previous owner, if you didn't know, like spray painted the engine bay black. And if you go back to the video where I painted the engine bay, you'll see how shitty it looked. So we had to paint it. But anyways, Just got some regular degreaser. Gonna clean off this fender. Like I said, paint shit, I don't give a fuck. I just want to get the sand off of it and get it mounted. So with that said, let's fucking get her done. This is looking like a fucking car again. Pretty stoked.